Do you know who Adam Curry is? Have you
No.
heard of the name before?
No,
Okay, so Adam Curry was a MTV VJ, DJ, like a video, like one of the presenters for MTV.
Okay, yes.
Back in the, I guess, like prime time of MTV.
Sure,
That sort of thing. So he is just a pretty fascinating guy. Like he somehow, he doesn't have Tourette's, but he has like definitely like a nervous tick sort of thing.
Okay.
Stutters a bit. You can see it when he's just talking and like twitches a little bit.
Okay,
but,
sure.
When he would like get into this mode, he'd be like a fantastic presenter and whatnot. So
Sure. Without the ticks.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he back in the day he did that, and then he was just huge into like the technology space, into like all these different areas, and so he was the one who came up. I don't know if he came up with it. I don't want to speak too much, but he was essentially like he was one of the proponents of the RSS feed, of using that to distribute audio out, and he's called the Podfather.
Okay.
The Podfather.
The
So he actually had a meeting with Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs was like, "Hey, can I use like your area, everything that you've created so far to sort of build the platform of podcasting, iTunes, that sort of stuff on."
Fair enough.
So he's
got cred.
He's got some cred. Yeah. So he started this podcast called actually. There's two. There's the Agenda, something like that. Anyway, he's had two like very long running ones, which are pretty popular, and he started this thing called Podcasting 2.0. I can't remember if it's actually called Podcasting 2.0. Let me bring it up quickly. Yeah, called Podcasting 2.0 by the Podcast Index LLC. So you're like, what the hell does that mean? And essentially, I came across him, and he was getting disappointed by the way podcasts are going, in the general sense of, you've heard about Joe Rogan going to Spotify, for example, and what he's starting to notice, and this was the first episode of this was August 28th, 2020. So he was noticing this, not too long ago, less than a year, and he was essentially saying the whole idea of what a podcast was meant to be and why he created it essentially was for that. More the free speech, more that area of, I'll list a couple of qualities that he made for it. So not controlled, accessible to basically anyone. It's an individual thing, ability to broadcast to any receiver, no barrier to entry.
Yeah, very decentralized.
Yeah. And so what he was sort of noticing was, okay, we're starting to see the opposite of that, in that there are places out there now where you go onto Spotify and it's exclusive to Spotify. There's companies where it'll create this area where it's becoming more and more niche, more to that area, only being broadcast in this. And he's sort of saying like, okay, that's fine and all. You can do whatever the hell you want, but that was not what podcasting was for originally. That's when I was creating this, when I was doing it with other people, it was all about the
sharing
accessibility,
it
the sharing it and whatnot, and not having those undue influences which happen when you are in Spotify. You're in Spotify and they don't want you to say certain things. Well, if they're paying you, you can't say those things.
You're going to be influenced by the fact that they're paying.
Yeah. So he was just saying that he actually said would be a new word, and it should be like netcasting. So if you're on some of these platforms, it's netcasting. That's just the word he created for it. Whereas podcasting is definitely more
that area
of what we're trying to explain.